Hi, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to do a review of the Chinese SKS. Now the SKS originally was a Soviet design by Sergei Simonov towards the end of World War II, around 1945, and it did see some use in World War II, but very slim in the last year. Now basically the Russians had already had the AK coming up, 1947, were the prototypes, and so basically they had no use for the SKS that they had just made. So what they did is they asked other countries like China and Yugoslavia if they wanted the design and everything they needed to make their own SKSs, and of course they said yes. So this is a Chinese SKS. It has the built-in spiker bayonet here. And the wood on this one is actually quite nice. It's not dented really. There's some minor scratches here and there, but it's very nice condition. And especially this gas tube wood is just beautiful here. Now this is a 10-round semi-automatic SKS. I believe in Canada you are limited to 5. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But basically you take either stripper clip or 1x1 and you just kind of push them into this area right here. And there's an internal mag, which is basically this right here. And so there is also a tab that you just pull back, and that will release your internal magazine, say if you wanted to unload the rifle. Very simple design, and the bolt is also pretty smooth as well. If you wanted to get the bolt from the locked rear position, basically what you would do is you would just pull this tab right here, and this would come and drop, and then you just pull it back and it will seat itself forward. Now sometimes that I have noticed, when you have the bolt in the forward position, there's a little bit of space here, and so basically this really only happens if you really lightly release the bolt forward, and it just goes forward with a little nudge there. I'm not sure why exactly these guns do that. But it's just a thing to take in consideration if you want the gun to go in battery. Now, the safety here is kind of an odd safety, but it's also very easy to use. So it's just this lever right next to the trigger. So when it's down in this position here, it's on safe. When you push it up to when it's facing the stock, that would be on safe, and this would be fire. And so there is a cleaning kit, if you can see that, right in here. So basically, you just take it, and there is a decent amount of cosmoline in there. So the cleaning kit may be stuck, so you may have to take the screws off and get the cleaning kit out. But I'm not going to do that right now, since it's a very simple process. Now, to show you the other side of the gun here, it's relatively basic. You kind of have your Mosin style routing here, just to get an area for you to hold. And then the front end of the gun, there is no muzzle brake, but there is a front sight block, as you can see here, as well as a cleaning rod and the bayonet. Now the bayonet I find quite interesting because it is a fixed bayonet to the gun. You can't take it off. So basically how this works is there is a little divot here, and then kind of the lug, I guess you could say. And you just pull down on this black piece here, and you just slam it up, and it just locks onto the front of the barrel just like that. Now to get this off, you just lift up and rotate it down. Now apparently these spiker bayonets, I have heard that they are frowned upon against because it makes it harder to stitch someone up in the battlefield, but which really doesn't make sense, because why would we use bullets if a bayonet's going to be a problem? Now I do have my Mosin here, so I'm just going to point out some of the similarities that Sergei Simonov may have taken, like the cutout here for the holding the rifle, as well as the Mosin Nagant's Spiker bayonet, which basically a one-to-one copy of the SKS bayonet, except it was the original version. Now the SKS shoots 7.62 by 39, which is basically very comparable to the 30-30 Winchester, but it's kind of a chubby little round here, and it is quite effective for, say, breaking concrete and stuff like that, but it does drop relatively significantly after about 300 meters. So that is something to take in consideration if you were to take this rifle or, say, an AK patterned rifle hunting. Now I will do a disassembly of the rifle. I'm just going to put some paper towels here so I don't get grease all over this table. But you might also want to put on some like work gloves, or just you know, your kind of doctor style rubber gloves to keep some of that grease and grime off of your hands. But it's a very similar takedown to the AK, maybe even simpler, which is good because I am not very good at taking very complex things apart. So basically, there is this lever right here that you're going to want to lift up to where it's going straight up, and then kind of wedge it out with your thumb, and it's just a pin that holds this dust cover, I guess you could say, in. Okay, so it does not come all the way out. It should go about maybe an inch out, and then you can lift your dust cover off. Now this is pretty thick steel here, so I wouldn't worry about it wearing through. In this right here, we have your spring, and the spring literally just sits there, so there's not a whole lot holding it in, except for this cover right here. And it just comes back. It's a recoil spring. It looks kind of twisted, but that's 100% normal. And then we have our bolt here. And yeah, that's about it for the SKS. Thanks for watching. Bye.